committee last week that came to have a focus on the winter. That is a replacement to the original. I think the original got damaged in the 80s, okay? Maybe the 80s. And where we put that one back up and protect it from the outside. And so the original window was developed by the community back in the day, and was for the men that went to war, in particular the men that went to the Great War in 1914 to 1918. So, and that was an important part of why the window was created, to remember those men. So, there's two Rigney men up there, Cyril Spurgeon Rigney and Rufus Gordon Rigney. So they're my nan's two brothers. So they died in Belgium. And there's another couple of men, Francis Olben Varco and Miller Mack. And Uncle Miller Mack was put in this pauper's grave in West Terrace, Adelaide, and we brought him back last year or the year before. Yeah, so it was like over 90 years he was in the pauper's grave. We brought him back to the Iona soldiers sent off, which is good to be recognised, even if it was a little bit late. And Bill Mac comes from the same community you guys, your family. And so it's a significant time. There's something significant that happened in 1915 in community. Now, if we remember the timelines, 1901, 1915, what would happen in our community is that the government would come and tell the church that you won't be able to take this community through this assimilation process, because it's now policy, because it is now law. Right? You won't be able to do that. We as the government will do that. Timing is everything. 1915, we're the men. They're either overseas or they're in the country somewhere. Now, here's the oxymoron. It's 1914. How do you become soldiers for a country where you're not a citizen? So what happened was that there would have to be other countrymen. Crazy, isn't it? So there'd either be New Zealanders or Islanders, or but there couldn't be any. There couldn't be something that there was no law for. And so it's crazy that you go and fight for a country that didn't even recognise you, or acknowledge you as being a citizen. Some people say, I'm an Ngarrindjeri citizen. That's it. So that means something to them, where maybe the law doesn't sort of understand it. But so these men, some of them with the crosses, they died, and so Uncle Cyril and Uncle Rufus, I never got to meet, or my mum fight in a war where they're not even recognised? Why would men do that? Like I'm looking at men, I'm looking at you men, and I'm saying, does it sound a bit, why would that happen? What do you think the men are thinking? Do you know what I'm thinking? That those men grew up sitting where you sit today. And they've been sitting in these seats for over 50 years. You get my drift? They've been shaped to do the Christian thing. And that is to fight for the land you come from. Fight for the people that surround you. Men protect their families, don't they? That's what men do. Provide and protect. So that's what they do. Even though that there's so many, it's not another one of the oxymorons. There's stuff going on that is really confusing, but we're going to do what our art tells us to do. So it's important, you know. And they would never receive soldiers' rewards. And every farmer that came into this district with farmers' reward, with fighters' rewards, soldiers' rewards. And you know, there's just something that doesn't sit well with that, with lots of Ngarrindjeri people. And in particular, you know, with those that lost family members. But it's still something that hasn't really been answered. I think people just hope things go away. Because it's easier, you know, to don't have those conversations. But not talk about those sorts of things. But it's even tough enough as it is now for returned soldiers in this country today, in regard to their well-being and being looked after. So, but it's interesting that not only would men go to war, but then their community that they are going to fight for are going to be all of a sudden challenged by Australian law in their community about assimilation. Like it sounds crazy, but it happened. And that's going to be like, 50 years before we're born. So our parents are going to have to work through that as children, and they're going to impact our lives, because our parents always impact our lives and our grandparents. So, you know, like, history is really important. Who we are now is important, and it's usually at this time in our life where we start thinking about our history. What's made us the person we are today. As you get older, you sort of spend a little bit more time